I'm not gonna lie, something about this felt weird. Like I haven't shared the space with anyone, but if you remember,
Yeah, it's weird. X-Wing, can you hear us? Yeah.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get in.
anyone that was there that day remembers the promises that I made for my Star Wars channel. And this is my first time actually sharing this space with you. So, taking it all the way back, I might as well share my first ever intro video I had for my channel. So, it's a little tiny space. So you'll have to excuse the mess, but I've absolutely jam-packed everything I can possibly put into this room. So we'll start right at the very beginning with the 3 3/4, which have always just kind of been my passion. I love collecting 3 3/4. It was the original way to collect Star Wars. I've always loved it. They put out so many good figures with the prequels, and then obviously I grew up with Power of the Force as well. But there are just so many fun different variations of different things you can get. There's some of my favorites are the Ralph McQuarries that come with the coin. So these are the original concept arts. You got the Boba Fett, Snow Troopers, Luke Starkiller. I mean, all kinds of different stuff. The twins from Revenge of the Sith, just an absolutely incredible. And then obviously all the clones. I loved all of the clones. So the Revenge of the Sith collection's fairly sturdy. We got a good amount of Revenge of the Sith. And then obviously over here, there's some of the special ones. Any of these ones I keep on the bubble are different variation special ones. There's a Chancellor Palpatine with a blue lightsaber. I love that one. But I do collect some of the Black Series. I keep them at the bottom because they're not as important. But the 6-inch figures do have their place. Most of the time, I end up just actually pulling them out of the packaging because I just think they look cool. I bought him when I thought he was going to do something. He didn't do anything. And then next is the shelves. This is probably the most disorganized portion of my collection. It is just a whole heaping mess of I don't even know where I put anything. But there's cool stuff sprinkled in to the shelves, these 3 shelves. One of my favorites, I have 2 of these little mini museums. If you've been with me since the beginning, you knew I was a big proponent for the mini museums. This is an actual piece of the Sarlacc pit from the set. I know it's just a tiny little thing, but I think it's so cool. Gentle Giants Endor Trooper back here. If anybody remembers the psychotic episode a couple years ago from when I was up in Seattle, actually Portland, I take that back, Portland, that's where I picked him up. They had these really cool heads on Amazon a long time ago, and so I just picked them up. It's 2 AA, you hook them up on the wall, you can get a cool 3PO head, a little R2-D2 punching out, and I just think they're cool. Gotta show some love to Echo Base Network. I've got their coin here. Some of the old Power of the Force stuff, the Boba Fett with the rocket pack. There's some Power of the Force Ponda Baba there. I don't know what's going on. There's the Han in the torture chamber. It's just so much random stuff on these shelves. This is really cool. The mail-in monk. Ugh. You could only get them if you mailed them in. A couple more Black Series. I loved that Luke. That came with the Ysilamari. I loved that one. There's a little Jin or so. These were actually, believe it or not, these guys came from, like, not Wish. I don't remember what it's called. Alibaba or something like that. It was a pack of like 12 of those things for $20. So I've been slowly repainting them. Here's another mini museum that I really like. This is part of Jabba's sail barge. Genuine piece of the sail from the sail barge. That's another one I'm a big fan of. This was a diorama I started, but I never finished. I'm well known for starting projects and not finishing them. But this is really cool. It was a Black Series speeder bike, and I thought it'd be really awesome to put some yellow LEDs in front of it. Never got finished, but it will. It will someday. There's a couple more of the Black Series on bubble. I much prefer those to the Black Series in the box, especially since they started doing the closed off stuff. I just am not a big fan. But the clones, the clones in 6-inch are just absolutely some of my favorite. This was actually a gift from my buddy, my first trip up to Portland, which was awesome. What do we got? I mean, there's some Power of the Force on card back. I started collecting the Phantom Menace. It's not in any particular order in terms of which collection that they're in. I just have a bunch of them because that was my childhood. I liked them. Bought a vintage collection. I like the vintage collection. There's some more Power of the Force down here. This is probably my favorite one because this was a misprint. Obviously Han, Leia, but this is Princess Leia and Wicket the Ewok. So it was a misprint. I really like that. I also love these freeze frame action slides. So if you hold that up to the sun, you have basically a negative from the film, which is cool. This was a project I finished and then it broke. So this was a little Hoth diorama I made that I love. I wired in a little LED and broke open this turret. This was from a 1983 MPC model kit. I thought I did a pretty good job on the AT-AT there. If you guys remember the stream, I had an LED inside the cockpit, and it was just an absolutely murderous task to run the wires through, and then I got it all said and done, and one of the frickin' LEDs snapped off. Bad weld job. But I love that little diorama. I think it's really cool. Looks good. This is my workstation. So to anybody who doesn't know, I do a lot of 3D resin printing. That's Yoda's lightsaber in pieces up here. I've been working at getting the perfect formula down for Yoda's lightsaber. And we're getting close. This one just felt a little bit too big. So I went back and I shrunk it down. I'm working on this one currently. I just picked up a new compressor today for my airbrush, so that's looking good. I did start some work on some Lord of the Rings 3D prints. This hasn't been washed yet. That's why it looks so bright and airy. But I do love building stuff. This was, man, if you were there at the beginning, you recognize this guy. This is the thermal detonator that still is not finished from 2.5 years ago because I can't figure out how to get this switch mounted properly. But one day it's going to come to me. It's going to come to me in a vision. Other than that, I don't know. There's some stuff on this wall I like. A couple of these things I picked up when I was down at ICCC, which was a lot of fun. I think this is a Return of the Jedi Cup. Yeah, I picked that up when I was down at ICCC, which is fun. These are just little mementos from the travels. Oh, this is a really cool mini museum right here. That's a piece of the Crate Dragon from A New Hope. I love that one. And then I have my favorite Emperor Palpatine figure because I don't know what they were thinking when they did his hood, but Lord have mercy, it is awful. So I like to keep them up there. These were my Power of the Force figures from when I was a kid. Every time I put them up, they all just fall down. So they're just kind of in a jumbled mess right now. I don't know. This was a really cool Vader. If anybody's seen that before, it's a Death Star, and then when you flip it open, it's Vader's meditation chamber, which is just way too cool. So this is actually my office. And then this is my YouTube studio. So you can see I packed a lot of stuff into the room. Up here, I keep some of my vehicles. This was a really cool, another 1983 MPC that I did. That's a Millennium Falcon. I didn't have room for it, so it's just hanging on the wall back there. There's some of my other stuff from when I was a kid. The Sebulba, obviously the Vulture droids. I found some miniatures when I was out thrifting. I just threw those up there because why not? TIE Striker up there. That's the Scout Walker from when I was a kid. There's a Black Series T-47. And then the 2 X-Wings up there. And then actually this bedazzled Grogu, believe it or not, my mother-in-law made that for me. and you have to do every single little tiny bead by itself, which is just nuts. I bought the Razor Crest, which was like whatever it was, $500, and then they blew it up like 2 episodes later. This was really cool. This is a Black Series Vader helmet, but I got the stand from a guy called Blue Dog Displays, and it's really cool. It breaks it up all apart so you can see the whole helmet all at once. I love it. These are all giveaways that still have to go out that I haven't gotten out yet, except for this one. This is not a giveaway. This is not a giveaway. This is awesome. This is the Heir to the Empire. Let's see if I can get it down here. I don't remember if he signed it here. Yeah, I was past the entrance here. Timothy Zahn 2 X-Wing. Just freaking awesome. That made me so happy. So happy. Let's see here. Obviously, this is my piano. This is a gorgeous Baby Grand Rosewood Baby Grand Kawaii. I love this piano to death. I can't play it right now for you guys because baby's sleeping. This is some of the vintage comic books, and then in front of them are these really cool little gold-plated cards. Actually, this was sent to me by Sundowners. This is not part of that collection. We'll get there in a second. These are actually really cool for anybody who's looking something, you know, kind of affordable that looks absolutely gorgeous. These are really awesome. They're actually on Amazon and they're not that expensive, but you get this gorgeous gold card. This one's the Return of the Jedi with this awesome print on the back, and then they have them graded, you know, mint. But it's only like $60 for 10 of them or something, and they're just gorgeous. Here I have some of the, I think these are some of the non-barcoded. Okay, no, these are barcoded. Some of the barcoded comics. Breezies, if you're watching this, you're right back there. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. But these are some prized possessions. I absolutely love these guys. Just the artistry on these alone are awesome. I wish I could crack them open and read them, but I'm not opening them. I do have some that are non-barcoded. I'm thinking about maybe sitting down and cracking them open and making a couple videos about the comics and what they talk about and stuff, but these are some prized possessions. See, these are the non-barcodes here. These are reprints. It's a Marvel reprint. There's some more vehicles. Obviously, I have the Slave one, which I loved. I got this right as they were having the whole controversy. I tried to buy it before they renamed it. The TIE Fighter, who apparently they still never fixed the wing problem because they fell off on the original one in the 70s when you were a kid, or 80s when you were a kid, and they still fall off now. So I ended up actually having to super glue it, but look, it's still trying to frickin' fly off. Ridiculous. This is out of place and odd and weird that I have chainmail here, but this is actually like one of my favorite things in the room. When my brother got married in Switzerland, we had chainmail custom made for us. So this is tailored to me, and then this is actually a portion of our crest from our heritage, which is just absolutely awesome. So I keep that on a mannequin because I love it. Lightsabers. I have a couple lightsabers. I love the NeoPixel so much. These are just absolutely incredible. The brightness is just out of this world. You can see next to a baselit. Actually, when it's this dark, it's kind of hard to see. But the NeoPixel is the best. And this has the smooth swing. So this thing is just one of my favorites. But that moves us on to what you guys usually see behind me, which is my, I don't know what you call it, this wall. The I guess the background wall, which is just absolutely stuffed full of crap. Unfortunately, the two bottom shelves are basically just kind of all thrown in there. I need to reorganize them, which is a shame too, because one of my favorite things is actually down here. JD636 sent me this. This is the original Jedi speeder bike. I haven't taken it out. I refuse to take it out. I'm keeping it in the box. This is that re-armored Boba Fett helmet. I don't know how I really feel about that thing, so it just kind of stays back there. There's the original vinyl. That's a 77 vinyl for Star Wars. That should be up front. I don't actually know why that's all the way back there. There's a couple Lego things, like the Boba helmet, and then my buddy Spencer actually gave me the Scout Trooper helmet, which I haven't even built yet. I was a huge fan of the Black Series Probe droid. This thing's awesome. It's been out of the box, but I put it back in there because I ran out of room. This was the painting I did with Dreaming tabs. God, it's a lot uglier than I remember. I thought I did really good on that, but it doesn't look very good. Battery died. We've got George Lucas Stormtrooper down here. Can't live without that. That helmet does not want to come off. Oh, God, I'm sorry, George. Oh, well, I promise he's in there. This is really cool. This is from Andy Masterson. This is the custom figure that Andy Masterson made for me. I'll pull it out. Here, this is, I already made a video and I talked about it on the live stream. This is just, oh no, don't bend the box. Hold on. There we go. This was the custom figure he made me. Straight up did a mold of the face with the mustache and everything. Custom made the suit. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. And then he sent me this t-shirt with the X-Wing logo on there. It's just absolutely incredible. It's another one that I just like, I almost don't like to take it out of the box just because it's so special to me. I went on a kick with Black Series helmets for a while. So I was buying all the X-Wing pilot helmets I could just because I loved those. This was kind of an older one, the Anakin helmet. I still just think this is one of the best helmets in Star Wars. I absolutely adore this thing. And usually my thermal detonator is sitting in its little cradle in here, but I'm actually working on it. Believe it or not, I'm working on it. So buried in the back, there's the Bantha from the 90s. There's a signed Mark Hamill. And then actually, interesting story, back here, there is a signed Frank Oz, which is awesome because I didn't know this until a couple years ago, but Frank Oz's niece was actually my babysitter growing up. I had no idea. Here's the chopper. I loved these little droids that they did at Galaxy's Edge. I didn't buy anything but the droids and one lightsaber because I needed a Luke, but I did build one droid because I freaking loved the droid, and then I bought the chopper because I love Chopper from Rebels. I absolutely love this droid. I got both of the sideshows, the R2 units. I think they're dead. Yeah, they're dead, unfortunately. Matched them up with one of the collector's edition C-3POs from, I think they were late 80s. I could be totally mistaken. I'm sorry, I'm showing my ignorance here. I think they were a late 80s collector's edition, but I thought that 3PO, I mean, they're both the same size. They're 6 scale, so they just match up perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Oh, there's also, see, there's so much stuff freaking hiding, dude. There's a signed Boba Fett back there as well. If you guys saw the most recent video, obviously I was gifted this absolutely gorgeous sideshow Cody, which I am still just in awe of every time I walk into my room and I see it there. He looks so good. And he's sitting on top of possibly one of my favorite pieces in the room, my mini fridge. This is actually a Han Solo and Carbonite mini fridge. Keeps the beers cold, keeps the room looking styling. Down here is just an absolute mess. There's one of the original Kenner Tauntauns, one of the Rontos. If you guys haven't, go back and watch my interview with Mark Anthony Austin, where he talks about doing the specialized editions and creating the Ronto and all the different stuff he did there. Really cool. ESB Boba Fett helmet, I love. This is actually that's a New Hope with Leia on the table, and that actually goes with the sideshow R2-D2, but it's down here because I don't know. This is my ISD growing up as a kid. I was so excited. We went to storage the other day, and there was a whole bin full of Star Wars toys from when I was a kid. Replaced the batteries on this thing, and still works. That just made me really happy. There's a little mini library in here. I was never huge into the books. This is my favorite one, Star Wars Archives. This was a gift. Shout out Joe on this one. That was absolutely awesome. But there's the pop-up galaxy. I'm keeping some of this stuff for Lily when she grows up a little bit. Complete vehicles, visual dictionaries, the Stormtrooper guide. Stuff I just like to keep on hand. This is a little clone shelf. This is an X-Cozer helmet. I don't know if you guys have ever seen X-Cozer. They used to make good helmets for like $100 a pop. They've since gone up significantly, and they are way too small to wear, but they're good for display. This is a Kotobukiya, the first Kotobukiya I ever bought. 501st Trooper. I think he just looks gorgeous. And then these little Jax Pacific Phase 1s. I ended up buying this this little 3D printed helmet and just stuck it on him because I think it looks wonderful. He looks like a little a little bobblehead. This, however, is a very special piece to me. This is actually hand cast pewter. My brother made this. So this is a hand cast pewter piece. The Phase 2 just looks absolutely incredible in pewter. He hand blued all of the sections on this, so this is a very, very special piece to me. I love it dearly. And actually, if you go back to the studio side, he did this as well. He sold these for a little bit. I have to ask, I don't know if he's still selling these or not, but this was called the Operation Cinder one. It's all pewter, hand blued, absolutely gorgeous, and just so freaking heavy. So freaking heavy. Moving up, there's the Saber shelf. This is kind of an odds and ends Saber shelf. It's kind of weird. This one's probably my favorite. It's the Youngling Slayer. This is a master replicas. Absolutely love this piece to death. Very heavy. Very beautiful. I made this. This was actually I made this just a couple days ago. This was the TPM Obi-Wan. I 3D printed it and then painted it. I'm not super happy with how it turned out, but it's enough to keep it on the shelf for now. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not perfect. It's not so bad. This was a China buy. I think this thing was like $30, but I bought it just for the hilt, just to display, because it's actually a really nice little hilt. It's a baby Qui-Gon, but the electronics are absolutely atrocious in this thing. They're horrible. There's another, what do they call it? LGT Saber. This is the Luke from the park. This is actually one of the first sabers I ever bought. I don't know if anybody remembers the Tiny Giant, Kyoju Tiny Giants. And I painted it and put Sith lettering on it and stuff. It's a total piece of crap, but I keep it because it's history. And then this one's kind of special. It's a total hunk of junk. It's absolutely trash. It's horrible. It's a PLA print saber. But my first subscriber ever sent me this print. And so I had to paint it. I keep it. I cherish it dearly. It's horrible, but I love it. It's the PLA Qui-Gon. It's more of a I love it piece. Up at the top, I went through kind of a craze where I was buying these Jax Pacific figures. If you've never seen them before, they're these giant figures. And I just went on a tear buying these things. Hold on, let me back up a little bit so you can see it. They got Death Troopers, TIE Pilots, Scout Troopers, the Tank Driver, and even Greedo back there. The smaller guys weren't Jax Pacific. That one's the same collector's edition like this guy that came in the tall rectangular boxes. And then this was part of a set of 3, actually. There were, I'm talking about the Maul here, there were 3 of them. There was a Qui-Gon, an Obi-Wan, and a Maul. But the Qui-Gon and the Obi-Wan looked terrible, so I sold them and I just kept them all. And then this is a little Rebels Vader. And then I got to rep the Mexican Iron Man up there. Absolutely love it. Which brings me to the studio. This is where the magic happens. This is where I make my YouTube videos, do all my gaming streams and stuff like that. I just built this computer pretty recently. Put a little Luke saber in there. just because I can't help myself. And actually, I think this thing changes when let me unlock my computer. Does it change? Yeah, so it turns into a Death Star reactor. How cool is that? I have it all programmed to do the Death Star. And that's pretty much it in terms of the collectibles. There's a couple more Black Series helmets up here. I kept my cowboy hats from when I used to bull ride. I try to keep them nice. Actually, neither of those are original from the rodeo days, so I take that back. They're just replacements. Actually, the black one is. I take it back. The palm hat is not. But that pretty much does it for the collectibles and just brings me all the way to my absolute favorite part of the room, which is my door. Well, wouldn't you know it, my phone died again. But this door is so special to me. I stick every single letter, every single anything, any correspondence I get from anyone, I put all of it on the door here. It just reminds me before, I leave my studio who, who I'm doing this for. My friends, I have so many beautiful letters from Karen and Brian. Weaven has some beautiful artwork there at the bottom. Matt Rissman. And Darth Arlena sent me a beautiful, inappropriate picture. It's all there. I'm thinking of you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. I love you. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you on the next live stream.